So another thing came out of the Food and Drug Administration Center for Tobacco Products today, and it's called FDA extends comment period for substantial equivalence proposed rule. So it says today FDA announced a 30-day extension to the comment period for the proposed rule. Content and format of substantial equivalence reports, Food and Drug Administration's actions on substantial equivalence reports. The proposed rule, published on April 2nd, 2019, will now be open for public comment through July 17th, 2019. The proposed rule, when final, would establish requirements for the content and format of reports manufacturers must send to the agency to determine the substantial equivalence of a tobacco product. And then, of course, over here, it sort of explains it just a little tiny bit more for you. I've spoke about these substantial equivalences before, but we'll go into it a little bit more. So a substantially equivalent tobacco product is one that has been found by FDA to have either the same characteristics as a predicate product or has different characteristics than the predicate tobacco product, but the substantial equivalence report, also known as a 905J report, submitted by the manufacturer, demonstrates that the new the new product does not raise different questions of public health. A predicate tobacco product is one that was commercially marketed in the United States other than in a test market as of February 15, 2007, or is a product previously found to be substantially equivalent by FDA and in compliance with the requirements of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. The tobacco product that is modified by adding or deleting a tobacco additive or increasing or decreasing the quantity of an existing tobacco additive may qualify to apply for an exemption from demonstrating substantial equivalence, known as exemption request. And this provisional SE tobacco products aren't necessarily for us. It could be applied, but it won't be applied. It's mainly for like combustible cigarettes, not premium cigars, but machine-made cigars and things of that nature. So in these, what they're looking for when they finally do the final rule on this particular draft guidance is when you submit a vaping product to the Food and Drug Administration, this is what will be included. So you have the cover letter, you have a summary, you have the listing of design features, listing of ingredients, listing of materials, description of heating source, description of composition, harmful and potentially harmful constituents, a laboratory accreditation, storage conditions of products, both the predicate and new, health information, final summary or closing statement, prepare an environmental assessment per National Environmental Policy Act requirements. And then you would submit it through that, and or submit it in the email. Through the USPS. They prefer you to go through the electronic or submit it online rather than submit it through the USPS or FedEx or whatever. Anyway, so they'll be coming out with this final rule on the substantial equivalence. Does it apply to vaping products? Probably not. Maybe possibly an ego battery, or maybe like one of those plastic Claramizer CE5s, like I showed in that one video, something like that. Maybe. But they're winding up all this mainly because of the court cases that is pending, the American Academy of Pediatrics versus the FDA. And so they want to make sure they have all their ducks in a row, so to speak. So that's why they're picking up a little speed here. Anyway, as well as the 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey is about to come out. Normally hits the public in September 2019 or September of every year. So they're also getting ready for all that. But this is mainly to do with that court case. Anyway, I just want to share this little information with you. I'm sure the vaping industry or the trade association representatives like VTA and these characters will comment, because they would like to, not that the FDA will necessarily listen and apply any of their ideas, but the VTA would probably try to groom or sculpt, I guess, polish the edges of trying to get it so possibly some of the products that are after February 15, 2007 may sort of fall into a substantial equivalence, make it appear like maybe possibly it's really something substantially equivalent to something before February 15th, 2007. So they'll probably do, because this is less costly, less paperwork, less time. So who knows? You know, I'm sure some organizations or trade association representatives, or maybe even consumers or vapors / consumers will comment. I'm not going to comment. It doesn't really make a difference. The Food and Drug Administration pretty much knows what they're going to do, but they have to go through this rigmarole here. They have to do this step in order to get to a final draft guidance. So anyway, I'll just let you go on that. Bye-bye.